Now we would like to see immediate rebalance, so we're not leaving behind any fair value gaps. Efficient price delivery. Price delivered efficiently. We ticked one tick lower than that, but this would still be our draw, the current high of the day. And this set of equal highs. We're pumping back up. We could just fill these fair value gaps. Now I'm really curious to see what EU is doing, if they're going back up to those highs now that the market has opened up. We're about to take these highs. We took the highs on S&P 500, so now we could be officially looking for short opportunities. If we go on the higher time frame, the only thing we have left would be Monday's high, the opening range high, right here at 4305. We can also see that the Euro US dollar is pumping, so good call that we didn't take the short from this level. Immediate rebalance, we're not leaving behind any fair value gaps. This is a sign for efficient price delivery. This is also a very strong sign. We haven't filled this gap yet. Another gap to the upside. Alright, look at all these gaps on EU. Our market structure shift right now would be here on ES. So we would like to see a pullback and then a shift. Right now we're just pumping. We could also be pumping into this buy side right above here to form a new high of the week. This is currently the high of the week. So now we broke structure on the Euro US dollar. So good quarter, we didn't take the short. Now we are just going to see if we're going to have enough power to take out this previous day's high. This is the only thing left on the menu before we actually look for a reversal. Our market structure shift right now would be this low. Let's see. If we continue bullish, we would like to see volume imbalance to hold with no close below it, but it looks like we're not going to get that. Looks like we're just selling off right now. If we break this high, we have a new structure to look at. For a potential market structure shift. So we're now good to take shorts on both charts, on both ES. We're now going to break this high very likely, making this our most recent higher low. Once we break this level, we would look for a shift. We have on both charts, we have a target to the upside, which would be Monday's high or Tuesday's high right here on the Euro US dollar. Okay, so we broke this high. We have a confirmed higher low. And this is what I mean. So if we get a market structure shift and we would place our entry right here, our stop loss would almost be 5 points already. So this is not a market structure shift entry I would take. Therefore, the candles are just simply too big. All right, looks like we're really reaching for the SPY side, which would be the opening range high, Monday's high. That's what I'm referring to. And we're looking at the price level of 4,305 and 3/4. Little gap to the upside, filled. Let's see if we can continue. Maybe we're forming that next higher low on EU now. All right, so looks like we're forming a higher low on EU. If we're going to break this candle's high, we would be referring to this as our higher low, where we would like to see the market structure to shift. But ideally on both cases, we would like to see that pump up into the SPY side liquidity pool on both charts before we look for the reversal. Alright, so we could be looking at this is our new low, fractal low. If we break this high, just follow the market structure. As we're going higher. Okay, we broke the high. Alright, so this would be our market structure shift level now. But yeah, this is really going to be a draw on liquidity. Also look at the candle bodies. Gap. Didn't close below this gap. We pulled back into it. Delivered price efficiently. We have a little fair value gap here, yeah. But still, this is going to be the draw on liquidity. Very likely the same thing. We're going to see the same thing on EU. This is our market structure shift level for now. This would be our 930 low. I'm also going to mark this up for later reference if we can catch a short today. All right, so let's see. Here's our high. Looks like we're getting a slight pullback. I really want to see this high to be taken out before we get that structure shift. Because usually if we're in a strong trend like this, buying down close candles works out pretty much every time. Just buy when you see that down close candle. Okay, we broke this high on EU as well. Let's see if we get that market structure shift here already. Looks like we're gonna get it. I'm already preparing my short. I have to take it. Okay, we shifted market structure. Going to take that for a 3-to-1 risk reward. My stop loss is going to be just one tick above this high. I have to wait for the fair value gap to be created first. If we're going to reject and fill in this fair value gap immediately, yeah, we will see. Or if we hold this volume imbalance, I'd be careful because we have this buy side pool. But other than that, I'm happy to take the short. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Create limit order, sell.
Order filled.
The order is filled. Just a slight market structure shift. I'm not risking much here. That's why I only entered with one contract. If I see a close, we're very likely gonna get stopped out here. But it's a valid setup. If I see the close above this candle within the next 30 seconds, getting out of this trade, maybe with less drawdown. Otherwise my stop's one tick above that high. But as we can see, it was just this little wick. Alright, we did not get a close above, but we had a gap to the upside, which is not a good sign. But I'm just sticking with the trade for now. Even though we have this buy side above, we saw it today on EU, it's worth the risk. Our 3-to-1 risk to reward target would be right here. That's where we're going to place our buy limit for the last contract, for the single contract. Now let's see what's happening around this level. Alright, so EU is still pushing higher. Here's our previous day's high. Alright, if we get a close below this fair value gap now, this would be ideal. That's what we would like to see. Let me change that over there quickly to a bearish fair value gap. We open above it, yeah, so now we would theoretically flip into support, but yeah, it's a open, not a close. We have wicks to the upside. Of course, we have this buy side liquidity pool right above us, but yeah, still a valid entry. Well, we got the close below. Oh, that's a strong rejection from this level. I think it might go for that buy side. We will see. So here on EU, it's starting to get a little bit messy. I would still focus on this as my main lack of market structure. If I start drawing in all these highs and lows, I think that's not gonna end very well. We've got 10 seconds left. If we get a close above this fair value gap, I'm going to close the trade. That's not what I like to see. 3, 2, 1. Get rid of it. I'm going to wait for the buy side above here to be rated first. There we go. I would have been stopped out, so I mitigated some losses. This is our new market structure shift low right now. Alright, so let's see. I think the draw to this opening range high is still next draw. If we take that out, we could get a nice reversal. So this was a 60, yeah, roughly $60 loss for me. That's reasonable for a 50k account. Not too bad. At least we got out at the right time. I mean, I saw the close-up of this bearish fair value gap here. Enough reason for us to get out of this trade. So now we flipped this bearish fair value gap into support by closing above it, forming a new higher high. So we should see this area holding support. And same on EU. If we're going to break this high, which we just did, we are going to look at high at the lowest point for our market structure shift. And ideally we would like to see the previous day high to be targeted. As we can see, we closed inside of this now inverted fair value gap. We're about to take out the previous day's high right here. Let's see. Okay, so now we have a stronger shift in market structure, a stronger displacement. Yep. We didn't take out this opening range high, so I would still give it another shot. This is our displacement. This is our market structure shift bearish. Here's our first bearish fair value gap. We have a little gap to the downside. Still didn't take out this high on EU, so we're going to wait. I'm going to set this limit order. Alright, so we broke the yesterday's high on EU now. Let's see if we get tapped into our short right here, or if we're just being spooked out another time. As we can see, we didn't get... Okay, now we're filled. Let's see if we can hold resistance in this bearish fair value gap. Just going for a simple 2-to-1 right now. I can always move my take profit further down as we end the trade. But first I want to see it play out. And if we close once again above this bearish fair value gap, I would just early exit the trade. We also have this last flipped fair value gap, but right now looking alright. Our market structure shift right here, we could be considering this low, but it really doesn't stand out as much. So yeah, we're just going to wait to see what happens. Maybe we get a pullback, form a new higher high, and then we get that market structure shift. Looking nice so far. If we form this new lower low, I would start tray my stop loss. We broke the low. I'm going to move my stop loss closer now to my break-even point. I do not want to see price go back to this level. That's our 2-to-1. Let me mark this up. And if we look at structure, this is the next low of our buy side movement to the upside. My buy limit is going to be placed right at this low. 2.85 risk to reward. As we can see, euro is still pumping. That's really where we get the confluence. What we do not want to see is this order block to hold as support. Ideally, we would like to see a push down, but I do not want to see higher prices than, yeah, pretty much the high of this candle, because this is new structure. So yeah, this is pretty much where I'm going to place my stop loss. Since we formed a new low after we pulled back inside of our fair value gap, we want to make sure that we manage our risk accordingly. I place it one tick above the high. I know we're still inside the fair value gap, but if we go back up into this level, this might just have been a little fake out to the downside. So far right now, I would still treat this as one move to the upside. A stop loss above the bodies. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was looking forward to do right here. One tick above that. Risk reward of 1.2. Yeah, I'm also having it on track. I'm yeah, staying aware of what price is doing, watching it as it's moving to the downside ideally. And yeah, from there on we will see. But would it make sense to move my stop above here? No, I'm gonna leave it right there where I placed it initially. Little evening star formation right here. Doji up close candle. If we get a bearish engulfing here, it would be nice to see. And we stopped out.
Stop filled.
Whoa! Come on. You see that? Orders were laying inside of this fair value gap. That's why we had this quick sudden move to the downside. I'm already stopped out, so my bad that I trade my stop. Not really my bad. We found a new lower low. That's really the rules that I'm sticking with. Let's see what's happening on EU, because we also got this big wick. It's 10 a.m. Okay, it's a new hourly candle. I should have been aware of that. I missed that completely. Let's see if the idea would have still played out, or if we now continue bullish. So therefore we do not want to see a close above this bearish fair value gap. I'm already stopped out at break even. But yeah, this rejection wick right here back into this order block is looking rather bullish. We now got a close above, so not so good of a sign. Yes, same for me. Super small loss. We would now like to see this acting as support to take out our opening range high. All right, let's see. This could still very likely continue, but you're just better off by, yeah, trading your stop loss once we form a new lower low. We had this 10 a.m. opening, so that's a new hourly candle, which, yeah, is very likely going to power that move. We will see how it's going to develop. And as of right now, we're still forward testing, so we can pretty much decide how we're going to play it. If we rather play it safe and risk or lose 50 bucks on if we see a close like this, or being stopped out because we trail our stop loss with the swing high and lows. So yeah, forward testing wise, I'm happy with it. Even if it's going to hit our take profit target, we can figure that out if we look at our stats and our data. If a break-even stop loss or a trailing stop loss is, not really protecting us in terms of course it's protecting us, but sometimes it's also costing us more profits because the setup is still valid and it's now going to hit 3-to-1 risk reward, which is unfortunate. So yeah, like said, our 2R would have been hit as we speak. And now our 3 risk reward. It's part of it. I'm not going to chase after this trade or run into it. I made the decision to move my stop loss 1 tick above the high of this candle. We still have a chance on Euro US dollar, even though the movement is, pretty ugly. Going sideways with big candles, big wicks. Let's see if our 3-to-1 risk reward would have been hit. Yes, trade idea was valid, no questions about it. But yeah, we already had this nice movement, forming a new lower low. Could have seen rejection because we still have this buy side liquidity above, which is a bit of a worry, but still, yeah. We had this last push, which unfortunately stopped us out with the 10 a.m. New hourly candle opening. Yeah, but that's alright. We learn from it. So we left a set of equal highs. We're above the previous day's high. A market structure shift for me personally would be this low of this wick on Euro US dollar. On ES, likely not. This was the opportunity at hand. Of course, we have a fair value gap here right now, but it would have hit my targets. As we can see, we got back inside of this 15-minute bullish fair value gap. We can watch it. So what we would be looking forward, what we'd like to see now is this bearish fair value gap to act as resistance. If we get a close above it, we can likely flip our bias to bullish to take out this buy side liquidity above. Let's see an entry right at the high of this wick. Stop loss above here. Nah. Down to the new week opening gap. As we can see, it's acting as resistance right now. Likely continuing to sell off. It definitely could. It definitely could. We will see. I don't like the setup at all. If we compare it to yesterday, Euro US dollar, market structure shift wasn't based on a new hourly opening wick right here. So yeah, I'd be hesitant on Euro US dollar, depending on what we see. And as we can see, there are also no fair value gaps other than this little volume imbalance. So yeah, patience for now. If we would have went for the bottom of the fair value gap as an ideal entry, Our stop would have been just one tick above the high of the candle that formed the fair value gap. But we'd still have that 15-minute bullish fair value gap acting as resistance. And this buy side liquidity pool above us. With a strong rejection, something happened around this area. I think that's pretty obvious to see. But if we can get a close below, no doubt that we're going to hit the new week opening gap once again. So euro shifted structure. If we count this as a structure shift, of course, it's really not what we're looking to see. So yeah, I think going to hold back today on EU. This would really be the most recent low. We will see what it's going to look like in a few minutes. Okay, so now we can be pretty confident that we shifted market structure. We have one bigger fair value gap right here, where we would like to see resistance, but really a tough one regarding to place your stop loss or where you should place your stop loss. So yeah, from here we will see. We shifted market structure. Here would be a few lows that we'll be looking forward to take out. Let's see if we can hold this bearish fair value gap. But if we see euro continuing to drop, we could likely see a pump into our buy side target on ES. I'm not going to take this trade. The trade that I would have taken happened up here. Whatever is happening now inside of here, I'm fine with not participating. This was our trade. Right here, stop loss at this high. 2-1 would have been hit, but we missed the 3-1 by a few ticks. Okay, so we have our fair value gap on EU. Took major sell side already. I mean, if we would have seen a nicer movement to the upside, not with such big wicks, with a nice clear market structure shift, fair value gap entry, yes. But like this, yeah, I'm not feeling super confident about it, even though we have some room to drop, at least into these levels right here. But yeah, still continuing to sell off, taking out the next low. Yes, could be. So here we have the fair value gap. We could try a short from this level, or maybe the 50% level. Therefore, I would like to measure the range right here. So here we have the 50% retracement level. So we can see the fair value gap is clearly below the 50%. Let's see. Entry all the way up here. Nah. Stop loss placement is tricky. I would like to enter maybe somewhere around to 61.8. But even then, stop loss. We could try it. Targeting a 3-2-1. I know it's not inside of a fair value gap, but we have some other gaps that could be filled. This is just below the 50% level. That's not really what I would look forward to take. So if we get that fill here, create limit order, we're going to risk 0.5%. And we're going to short 2 units. So we kept on holding resistance inside this fair value gap. That's also nice to see. Let's see what's happening around this area and this low. So right now we would still be in that 3-hour short if we wouldn't have traded our stop loss. It's just a mental note for myself. All right, let's see if our initial trade idea is going to hit 3-hour or if we again see some support. But yeah, this continuation fair value gap would have worked. Entry on CE, consequent encouragement, stop loss on last swing high. Yeah, we will see. Right here, yeah, would make sense. 50% level. Okay, so we hit our 3-hour on ES. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Valid entry, fair value gap. And yeah, so that's pretty much what we looked forward to. Unfortunately, I have been stopped out right here. We also got to close below this level, so we could really look forward to target some more at the new week opening gap. By the looks of it, this fair value gap also played out, but not my type of entry below the 50% retracement level. We can still watch it. And other than that, once this pretty much formed, we will see. I am likely, because we formed a new lower low, get rid of my limit order. I have no problem at all ending the day like this. Not going to chase to make sure to make some profits. We made some good profits on Monday, Tuesday. I think all over, already 5R. So yeah, taking a little note right here. Alright, yeah, of course, for continuation, short, if we don't bounce off here, we would like these fair value gaps to hold to get a little scalp to the new week opening gap since we closed below it, but we had an immediate rejection once more. We took out the 930 opening low right here. So we will see. Filled this fair value gap. This could certainly be a market maker sell model after buy sell model with a nice little peak formation to the upside above the previous day's high. But not really what I'm looking forward to take. I'm very specific with my setups. If I get them, I trade them as good as I can. I move my stops once we shift market structure and or once we break structure. That's why I have been stopped out. At the beginning, I wanted to place my stop right here. But yeah, I guess that was my little mistake for today. I'm certainly gonna learn from it. And for now, I think this might be it. It's at least good to know that we would have hit our take profit target. I would have certainly, if I would have still been in the trade and I would be waiting for my free risk reward to be hit, maybe just be happy with a 2.69 inside of this support area. I wouldn't really fully wait for my 3-to-1 to be hit if it's below the support area. Even this continuation short here from the midpoint of this fair value gap, with our stop one tick above the high of the candle that created the fair value gap, would have also hit, yeah, a 3-to-1 risk reward. Nice. Let's see if we can continue this way. Otherwise, yeah. Let me have a look at the inverted. No, also didn't work out. Alright, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that we're going to continue to the new week opening gap. This would be the next draw on liquidity. I'm a no trade right now. I'm not looking forward to take any other trades. After a big fair value gap, yeah, my stop loss wasn't placed at break even. I didn't move my stop to break even. I still had some minor drawdown. We broke our low, we shifted market structure, we pulled back, rejected, broke structure again, and I moved my stop loss to one tick above this level. Since we broke structure again, I did not want to see price close above this fair value gap again, or either this volume imbalance. So that's the reason why I traded my stop loss short. Also because we have the buy side liquidity pool above here, we have the new, yeah, because we haven't priced it in completely. A fill is enough. But yeah, of course, everyone has their own rules how they are going to, yeah, basically trade with fair value gaps. I'm doing pretty well by simply trading my stop with new lower lows to those old to those old highs. And yeah, if I would have left my stop where it is, of course, there would have been profit. But it is what it is, and I can't change it now. But I can change it in the future. And yeah, I will be contemplating it in the afternoon of, yeah, if I'm going to trail my stop loss, if I'm just going to leave it where it is. But once we continue to, after filling this fair value gap, we tapped into it. We closed inside of it. We've been rejected, and we formed a new lower low. This would have been a confirmation for me that I do not want to see this fair value gap being revisited, because the chances are high that we're going to close above it. Of course, we have that new hourly opening. I lost track of that. But it could have also been very likely that we're going to raid this buy side liquidity pool here. we really haven't been that far away from it, and I still think this could be an interesting point for later, maybe during the PM session. So yeah, overall, happy with the results for today. Can't really complain about it. We kept on holding resistance after we broke our high of the day. Just good to see that the strategy is still working. Not still working, but is working, giving valid signals. First market structure shift. We had a small one right here, but just by a wick. So we could also take that into consideration. Euro keeps on dropping after filling this fair value gap. Also just partially filling it. You don't always get complete fills, so having a rule with not moving to break even if the fair value gap hasn't been filled completely. It's a rare occasion that fair value gap is being repriced in 100%. Even this one right here. So new week opening gap, next target. Let's see. This would have been the trade right here. One tick above. I guess worth a shot. Maybe it just wasn't a day for it today. But alright, other than that. Alright, I think that's going to be it for the live stream. I'm not going to take other trades. This was a setup. Unfortunately, with the trading stop loss, I have been stopped out. And yeah, on EU, overall not the setup I would prefer to take. I mean, I can show you the setup from yesterday, and you gonna see the difference immediately. That was London session today. Let's go back to New York yesterday. That's a new day, the beginning of the new day. Yes, it's about to fill right here. This was yesterday. We had a clear market structure shift. Broke structure twice even. Pulled back into the breaker block, and fair value gap, inverted fair value gap is what I used for my entry. Right here, we got filled, minimal drawdown, and pretty much almost hit our 3-to-1 risk to reward. I slowly scaled out of the trade. Where are my executions? Why don't I show here? Weird, it's on the Discord anyway. And yeah, partially scaled out of the trade. Here I closed my last position since I saw the close below this volume imbalance. And yeah, we pulled back, kept on holding support once more in this inverted bullish bearish fair value gap, and continued to rally all the way back up. No, not to the high of the day, but had a nice little rally. And that's all we can ask for. Interesting to see. Look how the new week opening gap has been repriced in completely, and then we'd reject it. But yeah, this is a prime setup, the ones we really have to take today. If we compare this to what we saw today, not really what we're looking forward to take. I mean, the market structure shift theoretically happened here, but with this big wick at 10 a.m. and this run up, I mean, it's still setup is setup, but we didn't get a single fair value gap above the 50% level. We never retraced higher than the 50% level. Of course, you could just take the fair value gap and see how it goes, but I prefer having higher quality setups and then risking more on these higher quality setups.